Today we have 6 setups sent in by you guys that I'm going to rate and review. So sit back, relax, and take some notes to improve your setup, and let's get into the first one. This is Brayden's setup. He's 14 years old, located out of Michigan, and he's been mowing lawns and looking for a real job in the meantime. His main game is Minecraft, Fortnite, and Roblox, and his previous setup was just an Xbox and a TV. What inspired him to build his current setup is me and TechSource, so thank you for that. He built the setup for schoolwork and gaming, and he built the setup in 2020 and started building it over the years. It's taken him around 3 years to build this entire setup himself. He afforded this gaming setup by mowing lawns, birthdays, and Christmas money. So right off the bat here, I mean, it's kind of a beautiful setup, like just a nice laptop setup, one monitor, you know, in front of a window. I love window setups. Laptop could use a stand. Also, what is your chair, bro? What is this? Bro's got a full ass sofa in there. But I love how you did the personality on the shelves. Literally, like, that's so cool, man. Like, the shelves have, like, you know, some Lego stuff, some figurines. He's got a poster on the wall, like a lot of personality here, which is great. And then also the keyboard and mouse. I'm not sure what the mouse this is, but the keyboard looks cool too. But overall, I mean, this is a beautiful setup, man. Cable management's really good too. So overall, I would probably rate this, in my opinion, a 7 out of 10. This is Logan, a 14-year-old streamer and content creator out of Washington. His main game is Valorant, and he was inspired to build this gaming setup by me. He uses this setup for gaming, and he started building it in March of 2023. He afforded this setup by Christmas and birthday money. So looking at this setup right off of the rip, I honestly love the color scheme. I love this backgrounds. I actually used to use City Blues. This was a Steve wallpaper that's amazing. I love the color behind the monitors too. The only thing I would have liked to see is these panels go a little lower. Since you have nice lighting here, like, why not? You know what I mean? And I really like how you did the cable management too. Since the PC's so close, it looks really nice. Like, it looks really good. I also like the shelves too. Like, you have so much personality in the setup so far. And like, looking at like the PC, nice little PC by NZXT, it looks like. And then maybe extending these panels all the way down to the back side of the desk, and so that this light glows a little bit more and just makes it feel like a little bit more lit up. Because right here, this empty wall is making it darker, because like, since these are white panels, it'll glow a lot bigger, you know what I mean? It'll glow a lot brighter. And I think it's also because you don't have the white panels below. But just maybe 3 more panels or 4 more panels right here would make your setup pop so much more. Like the cable management on the setup, you did a great job. I think you've been on the show sometime before. The cable management, you did an immaculate job, man. Like, I can't see a cable in sight besides the keyboard cable, and that's beautiful. But honestly, I love the setup, and I love the color scheme. So I would rate this a solid 7 out of 10. I really like it. This is Jack. He's an 11-year-old out of Illinois, and his main occupation is that he doesn't have one, but he does get a weekly allowance. His main game is a game called Teardown, and he watches TV and shows on his PC. His previous setup was a very cheap office setup, which very run-of-the-mill. He was inspired by content creators Lo, Vyoko, and myself. He built the setup to game, chill, and watch TV shows with his friends. He started building it in 2021, but took a break for a while, and then now it's taken him about 2 years to get it to where it's at now. And how he afforded this setup was he asked for the monitor, PC, and stuff for Christmas, and he kept asking for other parts to upgrade it over time. And his mommy also helped him build the desk. Holy cables, dude. Oh my gosh. That was the first thing I noticed. But I love the plant theme you've got going on. The disc plate on the wall. I actually almost got that one too. I like how you fit green everywhere throughout your setup. But yeah, I really like your setup. I think it has a lot of potential to be more of a minimal setup, because the problem you have here is this drawer and also your cable management. Also, I think it'd be really cool to make some disc plates on the slanted wall. Just because you have such a cool space, I feel like you have one display here and that's like all the personality you have. I think it'd be really cool to maybe add some lighting or some paintings up top of here, like spaced out evenly. And then also I would maybe move the if you're not planning to add any more monitors, I would move the speakers more left and right, and then put a tall plant on the right side. I also like how you did the PC on the floor. I would recommend it in that setup, and this setup specifically. But looking at it like just like this, I really like the direction you're headed in. I know you've been saving up and you're doing well, so yeah, honestly, I love this. I think you're on the right track. I think cable management is like top priority though. I would probably rate this a solid 6 out of 10 just because the cable management and lack of personality. Everything else is great. Some mouse pads in the setups in this video are my own company, GutzyAiden.com. So if you like what you see, check out the description down below, and let's get back to the video. Next up, this is Dan's setup. He's a 13-year-old out of Canada, and he's just a student for now. His main games are Roblox, Fortnite, and GTA. His old setup was just an Xbox Series S hooked up to a TV. What inspired him to build this setup is me and other content creators, so again, I thank you. He built this setup for gaming and schoolwork, and he recently started building a setup around last July. He afforded this gaming setup by helping his family members and parents by doing favors for them. So we have Dan here, and this setup is amazing so far. So just looking right off the bat, the only thing I noticed obviously right off of the start of looking at this is the cables. Now, I haven't looked too deep in the setup, so I'll let you know more info when I look through. But I think like the setup itself is really nice. Wallpapers are great. PC's in a good spot. The mouse pad's big enough for whatever you probably want to do, but the cables, they need some help for sure. I like that you did use some creativity and tried to make the shoebox as a cable holder. I think you should also try to mount this power strip on the bottom of the desk and then run all the cables in a raceway below your setup. If you do that, take a lot of these cables out and just, you know, put them at the top of the setup, and it might make your setup look a lot better without all these cables. Also, the PC's kind of budget, but honestly, looks great. I think the best thing you could do is maybe get a side shelf for the PC. But yeah, if I were to rate this setup at the current state it's in, I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10. This is Lisk Girl, a 20-year-old streamer out of Florida, and her main game is Modern Warfare 2. Her first setup was just simply boring, and she added so much since then. What inspired her to build this current setup and make it better was she's a streamer on Twitch, and she streams every day. She built the setup to game, stream, and make some content as well. She started building this in December of 2022, and it's taken her about 6 months to the current state it's at now. And she had some help from her best friend and roommate with everything in the setup. So this is Lisk Girl's setup, and looking at it off rip, I love what you're doing here. I think that the color scheme you've got going on, the panels on the wall, and then the plushies up top, the lighting on the wall here, the neon sign, gives a really good vibe to the setup. The only thing I don't like, and I don't know how you use it, maybe I'm just like weird, but you have a vertical monitor for a keyboard and mouse pad here when you have like your gaming console on the right. So I'm assuming, since you said you're a streamer, that you look at chat on the left and you have like OBS and chat. I don't know how you play like any sort of like game at all. The cable management is actually really nice, by the way. Cable management's great. I think you did a great job with that, like lining up all the cables and doing all of that. And then the PC looks immaculate too. The cables are nice. The color scheme's great too. And then also like the little figurines you got around your desk. It looks really nice. Also, the keyboard mouse combo is great too. You have a lot of cool aspects in this setup that I think not a lot of people have done. But I love the color scheme, and I think you did a great job with cable management and the personality as well. I'd probably rate this a solid 8 out of 10. It's great. Lastly, this is Hussain, a 16-year-old student out of Kuwait. His main game is Forza Horizon 5, and his previous setup was just a PS4 and an old TV. What inspired him to build this current setup is TechSource and I, so thank you. He built the setup for gaming, schoolwork, and watching content. And he started building the setup about a month ago. He afforded the setup by birthday money, prizes from his school, and grades from his parents. So looking at this setup, I mean, I love what I'm seeing here. The light bar and the painting matches the same size as the monitor, so it looks really clean. And then also on top of that, the PC looks good as well. I really like the plant in the bag. I think it's like unique, but the only thing I'm kind of upset while looking at this is this color scheme is really off. Like, it's all black and white, right? But then you've got like a plant in a bag that don't even fit there, and then you got this like this lamp that's like chrome when you don't really have any chrome in your setup. So it's like very like off in some spots. The best thing I would recommend to do is maybe paint this white, maybe get like an actual pot for this plant or something. But the cable management's great as well. You did a great job with this for what you had. Awesome. And then like I like the little mini pegboard there as well. I think you could have added maybe a little bit more like personality like you have in the background over there. I really like what you're doing with this setup. I think you got a good like system going on. You're starting to make some good progress in this, and I like the sound bar below the monitor. It's very clean too. So I think honestly, looking at this setup, this is probably one of my favorites, just because like it's really clean and minimal. It's so cool. Like one monitor setups, mouse pad, keyboard, mouse, you know, like it's just bam right there. Sit down, play some games, hang out with some friends. It's like all in one. I would rate this a solid 8 out of 10. If you made it to the end of the video, make sure to watch this one next and see you in the next video.